Hey, FUMC Allen family, Pastor Mary Beth here. So I want to first of all say thank you for your tremendous response to the Congregational Survey that we did last week. We were hoping for 100 responses and we got over 240. That's a fabulous response and we're really grateful for that. Your responses are guiding the staff and leadership of this church as we imagine and explore what it might look like when and how we come back together for in-person gatherings. And I want to share with you some of the information that's informing that. One of the questions on the survey was, as government authorities loosen restrictions, which best describes your attitude toward returning to worship services at church? And I want to tell you that 14% said, I will return at the first opportunity without reservation. 35% said, I will return at first opportunity if adequate precautions are in place. 39% said, I will wait several weeks before I attend. And 11% said, it may be quite a while before I return. Now, we don't really have a date for when this will happen. I want to share with you that Bishop Michael McKee of the North Texas Conference of the United Methodist Church sent a letter to senior pastors back in the end of April. This letter is dated April the 30th. And in this letter, he says, based on the Texas Department of State Health Services recommendations and the latest data about the number of cases across the North Texas Conference, I continue to believe that the wisest course of action is to plan to worship online and refrain from gathering in person through May 31st. And so that's where we are right now, halfway through that month. He says this is a way for us to show our neighbors that we love them. To be faithful, we are often called to be willing to do what is best for others, even when it means we must make sacrifices. The month of May will be a critical time for discernment and preparation, and this time will be used to consider whether a lengthier suspension of in-person worship is necessary. So as people have asked me, do we have a date? Do we know when we'll be coming back together? What I've been saying is, it won't be any sooner than June the 7th, based on this April 30th communication. I know for sure it won't happen before then, and it may be extended. And that makes me sad, and it probably makes you sad as well, because I know we are really longing to be together in worship. We're longing for the sound of other voices around us. We're longing for the connection with people who are thinking like us. We're longing for that. And I also know that one of the hard things that is coming out of this is an increasing fear of the other. So how do we as the church respond to that? How do we address that? Well, I appreciated a couple of other things that Bishop McKee said in this letter. He said this, first of all, our first rule as Wesleyan Christians is to do no harm. Proceed slowly and intentionally, keeping at the forefront of your mind the health and well-being of the people in your church and community who are most vulnerable to the virus. And that's what we're seeking to do as staff and leaders, to be careful and intentional and be aware of who is in our community and who is in our neighborhood. He also says this, churches are essential. I think we all know that and believe that. Gathering in one place is not. So that's led me to begin to think about what are ways that while we are not all in one place, we can still be the church. And I want to invite you to consider over the next couple of weeks and maybe beyond, the possibility of inviting someone, another family, a friend, to come and worship with you in your home on Sunday morning as we live stream. It may be your neighbor. It may be someone in your Sunday school class. It may be extended family. And consider in that how many people you're comfortable having in your home together. And as you're together, watch the live stream and listen to the music. But it's also an opportunity to hear other voices praying at the same time we're praying. It's the opportunity to hear other voices singing as we sing along with the music that's being offered. It's opportunity maybe to engage with questions that we've been asking in worship on Sunday morning. And if there are children, for the children to do the Sunday school lesson that our children's ministry sends out on Fridays. And then, to me, this is one of the most important parts, to share a meal together. As I think about that, I realize this was the way the first century church gathered, in people's homes, where they would maybe hear Paul teach, or another of the apostles, or maybe read a letter that was being sent to all the churches. They might share what was happening in their lives and their journey. They would definitely sing and pray together. We have scriptural evidence of that. And they would always share a meal. They would always break bread together. And I'm wondering how the practices of the early church might guide us as we seek to be the church in 2020. I'm also reminded that Jesus promises to be with us even when we are scattered. Jesus promises that where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, he is there also. Stay safe, stay healthy, and keep being the church. Shalom.